And I'm so glad to introduce Beth. Thank you for taking on this session. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. So this is LearningExpress Library for College and Career Prep Exploration. And I've done a very similar presentation at past ABE Summer Institute. So you may have been to one before, but I am Beth Statz. I am with Minitex, which is a program of the University of Minnesota Libraries. And I'm an outreach and instruction librarian, and I do outreach and instruction around these free statewide resources. So these resources have been paid for partially by our tax dollars, as well as the Office of Higher Ed, the Minnesota Department of Education. So they are free. What I'm talking about today is free. Some of you may have attended a session I did yesterday. What I'm going to be talking about today is just one of the databases available through eLibrary Minnesota. So eLibrary Minnesota is this large statewide suite of reference, research, information databases where you can find full text magazine and newspaper articles and so on. This database that I'll be talking about, LearningExpress Library, is a bit different than a lot of the other databases in eLibrary Minnesota. But today, in the next 45 minutes, what I want to talk about is just basically review some of the key features that are available in LearningExpress Library. I am going to walk through creating a personal account, which is really pretty self-explanatory, but I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then we're going to explore LearningExpress within hopefully your area of interest, or at least one or two of yours. And you can see on this slide, this is what the interface looks like. So it's basically a database full of test prep, career exploration, just different ways to build your skills, kind of hone in on a particular job or occupation, prepare for the GED, the GRE, the ACT, the AccuPlacer, the HiSET, whatever it might be. So again, LearningExpress Library, it is a state-funded resource, and it was purchased to provide this test prep and career exploration to all Minnesotans. If you do use your public library's website, you may have already used LearningExpress Library, because all libraries in the state and all public libraries, I should say, in most cases, they have made this resource available through their website, and it would be listed under, one of their databases. So as I mentioned previously, LearningExpress Library is part of something that is called eLibrary MN. And in the bottom right corner of the slide, you can see the little logo for ELM. So it's eLibrary MN, or eLibrary Minnesota. I call it ELM. And it's basically one easy URL to remember, elibrarymn.org. And as long as you're in Minnesota, you should be able to get directly in to what's called the ELM portal to access one of the 50+ databases that are available to all Minnesotans. So LearningExpress Library is a little different, as I mentioned, than a lot of the other ELM databases, in that every person that uses it in the state does need to register for an account. And it's as simple as putting in a username, a password, email's optional. But the reason that you need to create an account or register for LearningExpress Library is because it tracks everything you do. So if you start, maybe you answer 20 questions of a practice test, it will be able to save that information. So when you log back in, you can pick up right where you left off. So it kind of gathers everything that you've done within it. And that's why you need to create an account. If your district or the institution that you work for is paying for career or, test prep ebooks or software, this is a state-funded alternative. So accessing LearningExpress through Elm. So this is kind of a weird animated slide. But basically, when you go to elibrarymn.org, you're going to have some options, and you'll see those with these green buttons on the screen. There we go. There's lots of ways to get into LearningExpress through that Elm portal. And I'll show you once we go live. So some of the things you can find, there's a lot of test preparation, and these include practice tests, these include tutorials, these include ebooks, but I'm not going to read through all these, but anything from college placement tests to the ACT to the SAT, lots of different college prep tests. This is an example of, on the right hand, this screen capture just kind of gives you an idea of how things are laid out. So this is an example of getting ready to take the ACT test. So you can see you've got guided ACT test prep. You've got different preparation tutorials. And these can last anywhere. I mean, it really depends on the speed of whoever's taking it, but they can, be fairly lengthy. There's all sorts of different practice tests. There are also flashcards as well as an ebook. So a lot of the practice tests are similar to this, or I should say laid out in the same way, where you get sort of a guided prep program, prep tutorials, practice tests, flashcards, and so on. There's also a lot of career preparation available in LearningExpress Library. So you can learn about a career, you can build skills in that particular career that you have chosen. Just an example of some, there's the air traffic controller, emergency medical services, real estate, teaching, teachers of English as a, what is that? I forget what the TOEIC stands for. I thought it was teachers of English something. But all sorts of different types of career prep available. So LearningExpress Library is made up of a bunch of centers. I think there's 9. Thank you. Tests of English for International Communication. Thank you. So for, there's lots of different centers. There's, I think, 9, and we'll talk more about those in a moment. But one of them is called the Job and Career Accelerator. And this is a wonderful place to go for anyone who's sort of exploring a career, exploring a possible education around a career. This has everything you would need, from information to help you create a resume, as well as applying for jobs, all within LearningExpress Library. You can there's 2 60-question quizzes. One is a skills quiz and one is an interest quiz. You take those quizzes, you can find a career match. From there, you can explore different occupations and get really in depth, where you can even say, okay, I want to be a flight attendant. And then you can see, okay, what's the average national salary for a flight attendant. You can get that, and then you can compare it with the average salary for a flight attendant in Minnesota. You can get lots of detailed information on specific careers and occupations. There's information on helping you prepare for interviews, different career ebooks. There's also a school, a college, and a scholarship finder, where you can enter very particular criteria and locate colleges, 2- or 4-year universities, as well as scholarships. There's the college and high school skills building centers. So there's a center called college students, and there's a center called high school students. So these are great places to go if you need to improve your skills in reading, math, grammar, science, social studies, technology. And then there's a few, we've got like I think there's GRE prep, there's college placement exams. So all sorts of different things. And I always tell people, LearningExpress Library is there's so much in it. I could honestly spend like 8 hours going through all of the different parts of it. And I did mention that everyone does need to register for an account. And this is basically so the database can track progress, it can save your progress. You can customize your own library. You can also download content. So all the ebooks in here, they automatically download. So they're basically, once you have them on your computer, they're yours, for as long as you want them. Okay, before I move on, I just want to ask if there are any questions. I'm going to go ahead into LearningExpress Library, but I think actually before I do that, I just want to show you, this is the Elm portal. This is what I mentioned, elibrarymn.org. I'm just going to put it in the chat here. And from here, you can get to about 59 different databases. No, you do not need a library card to create an account. And I'll show you that. No library card should be necessary for anything in this portal. As long as you're coming in, you're physically located in Minnesota, you should be able to get directly to this website, elibrarymn.org. You can take a look at all of the databases alphabetically. In our case, I want to just go into LearningExpress Library, and I know that I can get to it through this job and career skill building tab. Okay, question. Are the practice GED tests, okay, the same ones students get access to? No, they are not. They are not the same. Thank you for Susan for answering that. So I'm going to go ahead and just go into this LearningExpress Job and Career Accelerator. And from here, this is basically going to take me directly into LearningExpress Library. Okay, so here I am, but before I do anything, I do need to sign in because it's not going to let me access anything unless I'm registered or signed in. So if you haven't created an account, you'll want to do that at Sign In Register. So it's already got my information in here. Get rid of that. If you're a new user, you would just want to register. It asks if you're a European Union citizen. All you really need to enter is your first name, just so, when you log in, it will say your name. And then an email. It does give you the option to register without an email, and then password. Okay, so I'm going to go back to sign in. And once I'm signed in, it takes me directly to what's called My Center. Your center, if you have not used this, will look completely different than mine. Because I have done a bunch of stuff in here. So it's showing me tests. I have 1 test in progress. I've completed 2. It's giving me a list of what those practice tests are. I can delete them. I can go into them. I can retake them. It's showing me 4 tutorials that I have in progress. So again, just an easy way to get back to something you may have started but not finished. There's also micro lessons. What else have I done? I've downloaded, I think, 6 ebooks. And this just kind of gives you an idea of what some of these are. Best Careers for Teachers, The Ultimate Guide to Getting Your Green Card, Pass the US Citizenship Exam. It looks like I have one video. There are those Amazon Web courses in here, Amazon Web Services courses. I'm not super familiar with that stuff, so I think that's really all I'm going to say about that. There's a few articles, flashcards, and then I've got my career dashboard here, where you can see I've created 5 resumes. I've created 1 cover letter. I have a few jobs saved. I've got some occupations saved. And then down below, this is where if you're looking for, or helping someone look for a college, whether it's a graduate school or undergrad, or if you are looking for any sort of scholarships. Okay, I'm going to just click on home along that blue bar. All right, and from here, so this is basically the home page of LearningExpress Library. And below you can see we've got access to all of these different centers. So whether you're looking for career information, I'm not sure why there's 2 career preparation. This looks, oh yeah, well, I'm not sure why I'm getting 2 college students. That's odd. Okay. One thing I will mention is there is this center called Adult Core Skills. There's also that same center in Spanish. So this is Recursos para Hispanohablantes. This is the Adult Core Skills Center, just in Spanish. Okay, one thing, Susan's saying, one thing I really like about the LearningExpress GED practice is that it explains the answers and gives the tester a choice about mode, runtime, etc. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. The best way I find to get into something that you might be looking for is just to do a search. I find that that's kind of the easiest way. You can kind of try to navigate. Like if I click on Prepare for College, when you click on one of the centers, it brings you this sort of drop down menu where you can go directly into one of the parts within that. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just do a search for GED. And when I do that, it gives me a drop down list of all of the different resources available in here for the GED. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on GED test preparation. And it brings me to, in this case, an ebook. Is this usable? Okay, question. Is this usable in a correctional facility? I've had that question before, and that's really tough because I know with a lot of databases that sometimes they give access outside of the database, and I know that's not something that is allowed in a lot of correctional facilities. As far as this one goes, though, I'm not sure. It can take you out if you're looking for a job. It can take you out to like Indeed. So I don't know if they would allow it. But I mean, we're fine. Anyone in Minnesota, this is available to. So I did that GED test prep. I can view the ebook. When I click on that, it's gonna load it here. It's taking a little longer. And this is basically what one of the ebooks looks like. I can page forward. I can, lots of different things I can do. I can download it. It looks like I can maybe draw in it. There's also a notepad you can use with it. But I'm going to go back to home. So that was not, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I'm gonna do GED again. And here, maybe we're looking for, okay, introduction to the GED test. Maybe we're looking for what else? Oh, we do have, yep, the GED intro to it in Spanish. I'm gonna try this intro to the GED test. And this is a tutorial. So just to give you an idea of what those look like, I'm gonna click on Start Tutorial. And here we've got a table of contents in the upper left corner, and I can expand that. So we've got about the GED, lesson 1, what to expect, lesson 2, getting comfortable. We've got a course summary, but basically it's a matter of using that next button to kind of just page through and get information on this particular test. How long is it? When can I take it? What else? Basic clicking and navigating. Practice, click on the apple below. So yeah, it just kind of, you know, takes you sort of step by step through what to expect. Gives you a little bit of an overview, and then you'll see 38% completed. So I want to finish this later. So I'm just going to click save, and it's going to save exactly where I finished off to my center. So now it's taken me back to my center, but I want to go ahead and go, and it shows you, yeah, in progress, introduction to the GED test. I just want to ask, is there anything anyone is curious about? And I can do a search and see what I can pull up for that. Any particular tests or anything? If you just want to stick it in the chat. Acuplacer. Okay. So I'll just type it in, click search. And here I've got, it looks like 10 different tests relating to, yes, this is a free resource for all Minnesota residents. So I have all of the different Acuplacer practice tests. Let's take a look at the reading practice test 1. So this is the first practice test designed to familiarize you with the content, format, and timing. I'm going to go ahead and click Start Test. Okay, so this is basically what most of the tests look like. You get information about this test. Message here. I will look for the CLD tests in a moment. So you get general information about this test. Then in the right-hand column, you're going to get this little gray box, which gives you the total number of questions that the test contains. And then you can choose your practice mode, or I'm sorry, you can choose your test mode. It defaults to practice. So this is where you can see the answers after you've finished. And if there is a timer, or, you know, if you have a certain amount of time to take this test, the timer will display, but it won't be enforced. There is the learner mode, and this allows you to view the answers to each question as you go. There's also another mode, I can't remember what it is, but I'm guessing we'll find another, we'll take a look at another simulation mode. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just do this in practice mode. So I'll go ahead and click Start Test. Okay, so use the following to answer questions 1 through 4. Well, I don't have time to read all this, so I'm going to just randomly, I'm just going to randomly answer a few of these, and I'm sure I'm going to get them wrong, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of what this mode, how it can really help. Okay, so at this point, I've answered, I think, 7 out of the 20 questions. If I wanted to, I could finish this later. But I think I'm just gonna score my test. I know I did terribly, because it's saying, yeah, you didn't answer all these questions, but I'm just gonna say score anyway. So I got a 2. I got 2 answers right. And I can view my answers. And it's showing me all of those answers that I got wrong. So I could take a look at question 1 here. And see, okay, the answer was actually, which one was it here? Choice A, the correct answer was D. A was incorrect, and it kind of gives you a little bit of information on why it was correct. And then you can take a look at information. Can you please show your screen to us? You should be seeing my screen. Is everyone not seeing my screen?
No, we see the AccuPlacer screen.
Okay. Yep, I am, for Susan, I am showing my screen, so you may have a tech issue there. But so this is a great, yeah, someone said in the chat here, this is a great way for students to learn why they got the question wrong. And I could go to the next one. It looks like this one I got correct. Go to the next one. I got this one wrong. The correct answer was B. And so here I've got information on why B was the correct answer. So it is a great sort of, this practice mode is a great way to kind of learn as you go. I'm going to just go back to, or you know what, I think I'll do that. Okay, someone said, how about the is that the commercial driver's license test? I think someone was asking about. I will see what we can find here. So back at the home screen, I will just click on I will type in CDL. Okay, I'm assuming this is what that someone was referring to. So it looks like we've got a bunch of different commercial driver's license test prep. So I click on that and it brings me into this ebook. So maybe I'm going to go back. I'm going to try that again. I think I'm just going to do CDL and then I'm just going to click search. And here we've got all of the different features and things available on CDL. We've got 128 tests. We've got 7 tutorials. We have some micro lessons, ebooks, videos, articles, flashcards. So let's see. And these are, you know, just very similar, the practice tests. So let's just take a look at, do we have CDL General Knowledge Practice 1? So I'll click Start Test. It's going to look very, very similar to that AccuPlacer test we just looked at. You've got about this test, you know, congratulations on deciding to become a commercial driver, information on viewing instructions, scoring, and so on. Here we have the 3 different test modes: simulation, practice, or learner. So this test is timed. It is 30 questions and you have 150 minutes. So it looks like, what, 2.5 hours to complete this. No, there is not. I can check, but someone's asking, is there test practice for the regular driving permit? And I don't believe there is. And that could be because I think maybe in every state has sort of a different type of driving rules and ages and things. So I think that may be why. but I can go ahead and start this test, and you can see our timers going. So what can happen if you drive too fast around a curve? Well, it looks like all of the above. And then you also have all of these tests offer a notepad, so you can kind of take notes as you go. Save note. Again, finish later. You can jump to a particular question if you want. Maybe I wanted just to go right to question 28. And then navigating is going to be at the top of the screen using previous or next, or at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and just finish this later, close without saving. Okay. Let me just try. I'm going to go home. I'll just do a search here for just regular, I don't know what driver's license, drivers. And it looks like, yeah, I don't think there's anything in here. Yes, career. So someone's asking about career exploration. This is one of my favorite parts of LearningExpress Library, and it is through this job and career accelerator. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so when you click on a center, it gives you this drop-down menu of all of the main categories within it. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to this Find a Career Match. And I mentioned that the Find a Career Match, these are two 60-question quizzes. So you can get matched to a job depending on your interest or your skills. So I've already done these. So let's see if it's going to make me take it again. I don't think it will. Yeah, I've already done all this. But it does, if you think you would strongly, it gives you sort of information on how to fill it out. You can also set a default preparation level. So you can say, yeah, I have no previous work-related skill, knowledge, or experience. I'm still pursuing my high school diploma. So that would be preparation level 1. And so it just kind of, I think, matches you with more of a more entry level career. So that's available. I set mine at preparation level 3. And then you can begin. And just an example, yeah. So what is your interest in, building kitchen cabinets? I don't think I'd like that, so it just takes you through all of these different tasks. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to close that without saving because I've already done those. So it did match me. It matches you with an alphabetical list, and the first that comes up on my list is animal trainer. So that was kind of fun. I'm going to go back to the job and career accelerator, and let's go ahead. So once you finish this career match, it matches you up. It gives you an alphabetical list of careers, but I want to go ahead and go directly to explore occupations. So here we can choose from sort of an assortment of different types of occupations. Maybe we're a new veteran. Maybe we want to, explore military to civilian occupations. There is, let's see, hot technologies. There's also a career tool for apprenticeships. There's also some bright outlook occupations. Let's go ahead. I've never looked at this one. Let's try the bright outlook occupations. Okay, so from here, it breaks it down into these different industry groups. Maybe I'm looking for a job that's new and emerging. Or, an example of a job that has rapid growth. How about I'm going to go with actuary. So I'll select that. And now it gives us what I call these occupation cards. So this kind of gives us, this first card gives us an overview as well as a short little video on what an actuary does. After that, I can take a look at the different wages and trends as far as actuaries go. So it looks like the average salary in the US is about 125,000. Let's see what it is in Minnesota. So Minnesota, it's a little bit higher than the national average, about almost 128,000. Nationally, there's about almost 28,000 actuaries in Minnesota. There's about 430 that are employed. There is some growth for this position, about 20% growth in Minnesota. There are currently 40 job openings in Minnesota for an actuary. It gives us, this is based on information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and state governments. So just moving down this list, next I can take a look at the knowledge, skills, and abilities that an actuary might need. So they need to be able to speak, active listening, customer and personal service. So this is kind of the knowledge, skills, and abilities that they're going to need. Next, I can look at the tasks and activities that are specific to this occupation, as well as some general work activities. And they also offer, it looks like, some detailed work activities. Moving on down the list, we can see the tools and technology that an actuary would need. So they need to be able to use computers. They need to be able to use, databases, analytical or scientific software. Next, I can see the education and training that an actuary might need. So it looks like most require a 4-year bachelor's degree, some do not. Employees in these occupations usually need several years of work-related experience. I can take a look at related occupations. So these are occupations that are sort of related to things that an actuary might do. I can also look at some web resources. So this is going to give me, and this is where, as far as like using these in correctional facilities, this is where it's going to take you outside of LearningExpress. And I know that that's not allowed in a lot of correctional facility prison settings. But if I wanted to, I could click go and get where's a great place to go to be trained or to get an education to become an actuary. I also have sources of additional information. These are going to take you out to these different websites. And then I'm given some recommended occupation practice resources that are within the database. So at this point, maybe I want to take a look at the career snapshot. Maybe I need to start doing some, applied technology practicing in this work keys, applied technology practice tests. And then from the results of some of these tests, practice tests that you take, the database will offer some recommended skills improvement. So where are some places you might need to improve your skills? And then we can also, I've got some new messages here. And then we can also view available jobs. So at this point, I'm going to just type in my zip code. And here I've got a list of openings for an actuary in my area. So in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area. From here, I can save this job listing to my center if I wanted to. I could also apply for this job from within the database. So I'm just going to click on apply. And it takes me, okay, now it's using Monster. I know they were using Indeed for a while. So now I'm out on the monster.com website and I could just apply for this job from here, but I'm gonna close that and go back to where I was. Let's see, what else do we have? And then the very last sort of link that we have is saved jobs. So you can create custom job listings within the Job and Career Accelerator. Okay, I'm just gonna catch up on some of these. Class D and Class A practice tests and the driver manuals are in the ECR library, East Central Regional Library. Explore your library, scrolled. I think a lot of public library systems should have those tests available. Oh, we have 5 minutes remaining. Okay. Why did I think this went till noon? Okay. Oh, I'm just about out of time. Okay. Any questions about anything I've covered at this point? No message. Are there marketing promo materials for eLibrary that we might have access to? Yes. Any user guides? I will tell you that there are not, we don't have many user guides, but from that web address that I put in here, if you click on educators and librarians from elibrarymn.org, we do have some, where are they? Some curriculum resources. And these are going to be short tutorials. Some of them are a little longer. I also want to mention any problems, issues, questions you have with eLibrary Minnesota, please use this contact in the upper right corner. We are on, myself and my colleagues are on the other end, and we are more than happy to help or answer any questions you might have with any of these resources. And I will quickly put, I'm just going to the Minitex website because I want to get that promotional. We do have a link where you can order promotional materials. Bear with me. So I go to and then content, get promotional materials. I will put this in the chat. There's no cost. We ship these for free. So I think that just went to one person. So yeah, please let us know if there's any way we can help. We do also offer training and instruction like this at no cost. You can reach out to me directly. More than happy to set something up. We will travel to you. We will do it via Zoom. We can do a one-on-one. We can do something for 5 people, for 50 people. So we can really customize it to whatever you're looking for as far as professional development goes. And I think I have 1 minute to spare. So any final questions or comments? All right, thank you so much, everyone, for your attention and your interest. And please do not hesitate to reach out to me with any questions, comments, whatever it might be. And have a great day.
Thank you so much, Beth. I'll stop the recording.